It's challenging, but I'll go ahead and I want to be mindful of your time too. So I'll go ahead and segue us into like, let me just formally introduce you.
Okay.
Matt Costeines, former heavyweight champion,
Heavyweight champion.
track athlete, state champion in football, current gym owner, entrepreneurial, husband, father. He's doing it all. He's here on the podcast with us. We're going to talk about fitness and technology. So I'll tell you this too. Technology has played a role in my personal fitness journey. I used to be close to 300 pounds, and then I dropped down. I'm currently around 215.
Mom.
One thing, I'm still going to the edge. One thing is technology has helped me with a relationship with my personal trainer. So technology has significantly had a role in my fitness journey. And what I wanted to do was talk to you about first, what does your day-to-day look like today so it's like what time are you showing up to I'm gonna call it the office,
hmm
but like what time are you showing up to your office and getting ready to start your day? And what does that look like when you get there? Like what are you doing?
I generally wake up anytime between 3:30 to 4 o'clock a.m. And my day starts. My first client is either at like 5 or 6 a.m. And then that goes straight to till 4 p.m. And that's Monday through Friday.
Okay, so it's Monday through Friday, no weekends?
No weekends right now. No, no,
Okay.
it took me a while. I was working a couple of years before to gradually take off weekends. And then COVID hit and everything just kind of blew up. I was working 7 days a week and just taking on whoever, whenever. And then I slowly, over the last couple of years, started taking off weekends as well. Just trying to prioritize my time as well, too.
Good for you, man. And so you're getting there at 3:30, 4 o'clock. What is that? And then your first client shows up around 5 a.m. So you got about an hour of like prep work or
hmm
getting stuff like I assume, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What does that prep work look like? What are you preparing?
I feel like that's my work. Like, I feel like that time in the morning, the house is quiet. I can get a
Mm,
lot of work done. Within the hour, I can get work done in that morning. It will take me about 2 to 3 hours in the afternoon to get the same amount of work done. It's just a very quiet time. I'm very dialed in, focused. Breakfast is a big breakfast, about 1,000 calories, just to last me for most of the day. Out of just water, chugging caffeine. My clients start to either 5 or 6 a.m., but they're usually at the gym at 4:45, like ready to go.
right.
The gym has to be on, the lights have to be on, I have to be awake. So it's not a slow start into it. So, and then that's just boom, 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 back to back to back all day. But yeah, I feel like the morning is where I do all like the planning and the programming. And I
Hmm.
feel like that's like the actual work. And then
Yeah,
showing up for the clients is just the work being presented, if that makes
got
sense.
it.
Yeah.
Got it. So are you manually curating like this? So it sounds like based off what you're saying, it sounds like all right, it's like I come in the work and like almost like a teacher, like I got to create this lesson plan for all of my students
Exactly what it is.
that are coming
Yeah.
in, right? And when they come in, it's not like I've got time to go back and redo another. It's like
Mhm.
it's one right after the other type of thing, right?
Yeah, yeah, each client has their own program based on their goals and what they like to do, and it's a little bit of what they want, what they need, and really the human aspect of that is catering it based on the individual. So all I do is one-on-one personal training. So that really can, I had the template, but that always changes depending on how if the client didn't sleep well the night before, or whatever it is, injured, or something happens. I think that's really one of the benefits of like the in-person stuff, where the technology would have a hard time adapting in
Hmm.
real time to someone's either limitations or day to day. Um, because people's emotions and dealing with people one on one is just kind of all over the place, male, female, young, old, whatever it is. Being able to adapt to that in real time and making sure to get a good workout every time is really one of the
Right.
benefits there.
Hey, you're opening up a can here. You're
Yeah.
talking about so the one thing that people like me love to hear are problems. It's like you would think like, wow, this person's really freaking toxic. Like, oh, there's problems. It's like, no, we love to hear those problems because we hear them, but they sound like opportunities to us, and they sound like, okay, hey, there's something we can fix here. I'm gonna kind of pivot around just a little bit, but like you mentioned like you got to be dynamic for your clients, meaning like you said that they may not sleep well or things have changed, and you may have had like just like football, right? You come in, you had this game plan, and now it's like, oh, I gotta toss it out and do something completely different.
100%. Yeah.
Got it. How are you made aware beforehand that these changes are happening, or does it just you're not knowing anything until they walk in the door?
I've been doing it for a long time and I've been working with my clients for a long time. So it's kind of like a nonverbal communication. I can almost
Okay.
tell as soon as they walk in what's going on based on their attitude and energy. I can tell
Mm,
within the first couple minutes based on how they're moving if something's going on. So I can do a lot without them even saying anything.
mm-hmm.
Technology has helped in the way that there's so many trackables. You know, they have the Aura Ring and the Whoop straps and the Fitbits. Um, and so I can get a good gauge on that. And all they have to do is just wear the technology. And then I can see, so that's really good data. I can see their sleep for the last, 30 days. I can see their HRV, their resting heart rate. So you can get a feel of like if they're stressed, they're not sleeping well, they're eating well, their nutrition, all that. So I have all that information beforehand as well. But even with all that information, which definitely helps, there still need to be real time adjustments because the technology can say that they slept really well or they're very recovered and ready to go. But when they come see me, it's not matching the technology.
Mm,
I don't know if like there's like the statistical stuff and then there's like the real life stuff too.
yeah.
So I know even some athletes take off their whoop strap or their, whatever, like because sometimes if they're going into a competition and the numbers give them a low recovery score, it can mentally mess with them. So
Wow.
it's like using the data
Right.
kind of not going all in on data, but just using it as kind of a guide, but not like the end all be all. So you also
Yeah.
have to take in like your emotions and how you feeling and how your stress levels. Like tell me without like the data telling me. Like tell me in person like what's going on. How's your
Mm,
body feeling? How's your mental state? All that is kind of hard to get measured. It's getting better with technology, but that's still the real value of in person one on one training that I offer.
gotcha. That that's pretty interesting. So it sounds like there needs to be some sort of additional layers here, not just the binary black and white, like, yeah, I got 8 hours of sleep, blah blah blah. But like,
Yeah,
did
not
did
robots.
did my dog die yesterday? Like, did I get a good
Yeah,
enough meal? Like all those other life events that actually weigh significantly on us, right? Because like I'll tell you too, like there's been days where I've had like a rough day at work and I didn't get my workout in the morning. I was supposed to go in the evening.
yeah.
I had a good meal. I had all the thing. I check all the boxes, but like at the end of the day, I was just like, dude, I'm just mentally spent. Like I don't want to do it, right?
Mhm.
And like you can't measure that on paper, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So here's one opportunity already, right? Is we've got to figure out a way to measure life as part of your
mhm,
fitness. We've got to
yeah,
find a way to not just figure out like, hey, are you getting enough sleep? Did you get enough calories? Did you get enough fruit? Did you take all your multivitamins? But like the persona, right? Like what happened that day? Like because that is something that's not tracked, it's not measurable, but it has a huge impact on how well of a workout I'm gonna have
yeah.
as well.
It gets deep, man. One-on-one personal training gets deep. But also, it'll there's
Right.
responsibility on the client to open up too and be vulnerable, which can be hard for a lot of people. Especially when you're
Right.
talking about mental health and stress levels. There could be maybe some pushback was, if they're really venting and doing a therapy to this AI, like what data is that collecting on them? So maybe it's more of like I tell like my clients just use like a pen and paper, just keep a journal, get your thoughts out, or see a therapist, like a real life therapist, if they
Yeah.
need that. But they might not feel comfortable putting all that feelings into something where that can be shared or whatever.
Sure, sure. And I can relate to that because I've left my trainer with a lot of stuff. Shout out Lushka. But
Yeah.
like I've 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 dumped my life on her before. And I remember leaving the gym, sometimes like, oof, like she's probably like out back, like, I don't know. She's like, what the fuck was that? So I know that also is a lot. And that is a huge I mean, you just open up a good can, right? Like we can't measure the person, how they feel, what they went through, where they are mentally. That part needs to be considered as part of the fitness journey. So
Yeah.
there's a nugget right there. But going back to like when you had this game plan already set up, like How, like, first of all, are you using any type of technology to curate this workout,
Am I using any what technology to?
to curate the workout for your client? Or is it like based on like, hey, what you know about them and you're like in their goals and you're putting it together
Yeah,
manually?
I'm not. I mean, I'm using Google Sheets,
Yeah,
but everything I'm inputting into Google Sheets is just on my end, like in my brain and what I've worked with previous clients, what I found success was, what I found success was people with the type of personalities I'm working with, what works well, what works doesn't. So yeah, just it's mostly like my brain that's doing it, and then the technology just helps portray it.
got
Uh,
it. Got it.
if that
So
makes sense.
you're absolutely, so basically your game plan is, I met with you, you know what my goals are, you understand where I am, using
Yeah.
that information, and then you're patching it up with your knowledge and you're saying, okay, this is what the plan needs to be for this client.
Yeah, because um, I think really what AI has done is separate like a trainer and a coach, and people are getting more educated, with ChatGPT and anything. Like you can learn a lot about how the muscles work and sets and reps and tempos, and like the science of it is really out there. People, although I would say maybe too much information can be overload for people as well too. Are we getting too much? Are we just getting saturated and just overload with information that we'd have a hard time retaining it? I would argue against. I would argue for that as well too. But anyways, the information is easily accessible. Like you don't have to go to college or read books or textbooks. Like you can just understand it. So it's more of the art. So a textbook workout for a client in practical terms of actually training them in real life might not actually work. So that's why I would have a hard time using like a science-based technology program to give a client, because there's so many other factors that,
Mhm.
like, it's not. I don't train by the textbook because that wouldn't really. I take bits and pieces of it. Does that make
Sure.
sense?
Exactly. 'Cause it's like the whole BMI thing, right? BMI is super like black and white.
Mhm.
I could be 300 pounds, but I can be like 3% body fat, but you would consider me obese because I'm simply 300 pounds, right? But
Yeah.
you're gonna tell me to lose weight. Well, I'm 3% body fat.
Mhm.
But like BMI doesn't take that into account, right?
Right,
Um,
yeah.
so, and then what you're saying is, look, it's like these are all the ingredients, right? You're saying, yeah, there's a cookbook out there that'll tell you all the ingredients, right? And there's multiple ways to make the pizza. But like I'm gonna make the pizza the perfect way for you, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
you need potatoes, but like, I can give you all these ingredients and send you on your way. You're gonna do it at home. But like, will it come out as good, right? Do you know like there's certain temperatures to cook at? There's all these different little attributes that why you need that personal trainer, right?
Yeah.
And when it comes to considering technology as part of the relationship, you mentioned, hey, yeah, your clients may use ChatGPT and things like that, and they may get a little bit of information overload.
Mhm.
I don't, in your case here, I don't know if like a ChatGPT is the end all be all for you. I think there might be different types of technology, but I think we're gonna have like this aha moment as we keep talking.
Mhm.
But two problems that you've given me so far that I've picked up on is, one, you have data that helps you track your clients and give you insights of what's going on at a very binary level. Whatever is tangibly out there, sleep, food intake, all that stuff that you can take in. Then you got to consider too, there's also the human error part of it, right? Like, did I log up my foods? Did I log it correctly and all that good stuff?
100%.
Then you also made out the other problem, which is I have this plan for this client, but like Mike Tyson says, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yeah.
The client gets punched in the face, plans change. Now, how do we pivot, right? Because now that puts everybody like we've got a time session here, right? Like
Mhm.
we can't really, we got to try to pick up the pieces as fast as we can to make this a
Yeah.
fruit workout. So like what happens there? Like, are you going back to the drawing board and you're like, all right, real quick? Or like, are you just like, screw it all? We're gonna go off dome today. Like, what's the move?
Yes, all that.
Okay.
When I do the training, when I do the workouts in the morning I'm very technical. I can do the workouts, and in the afternoon I'm more creative. So I do more like the coding and like like writing and stuff like that. I can do that better. But in the morning, it's all right. Here's the workout, and here's Plan B. And then usually here's plan C. Just I have backup options just in case. But sometimes somebody will come in and just be like, the traffic or their kids or their dog or whatever it was. And in my head, I'm thinking of the workout I have for them. And I'm like, there is no way this workout is going to work for this person. The end goal for me mostly is that client feels better when they leave the session from when they came in. So how do I have to be I have to be able to adapt. That's really the biggest thing was like being a small business owner, is the ability to adapt and the ability to adapt on the fly. So I can't be like hard headed and be like, I don't care. This is the program we have. We're gonna do it today. I was like, no, like that program is gonna go another time, and we're gonna improvise and we're gonna do what's best for you. Um, and a lot of what I do isn't necessarily weight loss. It's more um like injury prevention or rehabbing or getting stronger, that kind of stuff. So it's making sure the client feels better when they leave the gym and not more banged up or even defeated as well too. And that's a big mental thing too. If they're coming in not feeling great and I give them a hard workout and they don't do it, then they can even feel even more defeated leaving. And that's not worth it. Because I'm dealing with everyday general population people. I'm not dealing with athletes. If I was dealing with athletes, there's a sense of like, okay, suck it up. This is the plan. This is what we have to do today. But that's not the case. I'm dealing with normal people, normal jobs and normal life, and with kids and responsibilities, and the gym isn't their number one priorities. And they're paying customers and they're paying my bill. So how do I cater to
Right,
clients? Right? I could be hard headed, but then I'll probably lose a few clients as well too, and it's just not worth it.
right, right. How stressful for you even when those moments happen? Like how is that for you mentally mentalize like clients go out 15 minutes late and they're in like shambles and you're like
I have to
how's that?
set the tone. I have to set the tone, and in my head, I'm freaking out like all over the place.
Hmm.
But you have to visually appear as if you're not stressed out. I think I think the best leaders and managers are able to handle stress very well.
Yeah,
And when things are going crazy, they're able to like chill out and handle it and not freak out. I think freaking out just makes it worse. But especially when you're dealing with people as well too. So I've always been fascinated by managers that can handle stress really well. And
hmm,
I've always been fascinated by managers, leaders that make like complicated or complex things seem very simple, even though they're not, but you make it. So like you have a job and you're like, oh, like James makes it look so easy, but you have all these systems and processes in place to make it look
right,
easy. And I was
right,
like, I can do what James does. And then I started doing what you do. And I'm like, oh my God, like there's all these things going on that I didn't
right,
realize behind the scenes that you've already come up with solutions for. So definitely keeping the composure and staying calm, even though mentally I'm freaking out, but I don't show
right.
that to my clients.
Sure.
The ability to handle stress is got to be like almost the number one factor as a business owner,
Mm.
being able to adapt and handle stress, not freak out.
I hear that. So that is not only when changes happen, not only is a problem for the client because they're going through some sort of life event. That's why they're even late or that's why they're even frazzled. But it also puts a different level of pressure on you, the owner, the personal trainer, or the person who has the appointment because now you've also got to go into I've got going from I've got a plan to I've got to actually now I've got to adapt and overcome.
Yeah,
Got it. The next question I have for you is like, so like, how do you handle, like, do you use technology to help you manage the relationship with you and your clients? Or is it like straight text message, phone call, or do you use some sort of app or portal where it's like, hey, let's use this to communicate? Or does that make it feel less personal? Like, it seems like you're more like a personable guy.
I am a personal guy. Technology, I have 30 clients, and I've also been infatuated, like, with the 2 things I talked about, like handling stress and making complex things seem easy. The 3rd one I've also been fascinated with leaders and managers is that even though they have a million things going on, is that when you're with them, you feel like you're the only person in the room, and, like, they're always, like, concentrated on you, even though there's 1,000 other things going on. So I always try to make that feel when it's easy to do when I'm with my clients. So I'm not on my phone, I'm not distracted. The hour I have all eyes on you. But then how do I do that when they leave? It's the other 23 hours in a day.
Yeah.
So obviously they know I have other clients, but I want them to make them feel like they're my only client I train. And technology helps a lot automate a lot of that process. So like doing that over 30 people is time consuming and very it's hard because the personal training I am with that person for an hour that I can't do anything else other than train them. I can't do emails and text messages and marketing and all that. I'm committed to that person. They'll be able to stay in touch with people outside of their sessions just takes up more time of my day, which is fine. But I use the automation a lot for follow ups and check ins, and
Hmm.
it's important to me to make it feel like a personal service and not just be like, hey James, I see you once a week, and then like I don't see you until the next week, and it's like, hey, like so what I do like in between is, how's your body feeling after yesterday's workout? How'd you sleep? Like, they have the wearables, so I can see all their data on there too as well. Yeah, so yeah, that's
Yeah.
about it, I guess.
Okay. Okay, good. And that sounds like a lot, right? That even though, because you're one person, it's 30 clients. I myself am a client of a personal trainer, and I know how much time I eat up from her. Even like, when you think about sending text messages back and forth, that can eat up 20 minutes of that person's time,
Mhm.
right? And that doesn't mean that I'm less important. It's just there's only 24 hours in a day, so it's like
Yeah.
there's also a fine balance there. I'm gonna say this, and then I'll kind of like summarize some of what I'm hearing so far.
Mhm.
Well, let me actually one more question for you. When you mentioned marketing too, right? Like, how do you go about customer acquisition, right? Like, or client acquisition, like, and like, what does that also look like for you? Like, are you looking to bring in new clients every month, every 3 months, every 6 months? Like, do you
Mhm.
have a plan where you're like, all right, it's 6 month time, let's bring in more clients, or if I get below a certain number, like what is the trigger for you? Or are you saying, hey, I just want to stay at 30, like I don't want to scale it higher? That could be that could be
Yeah, that's actually a great question. I am probably the world's worst marketer. I'm not good at sales and marketing. If I would never, for personal training, I would never want to market or sell someone to train with me. That just doesn't feel right. I would never beg someone to stay with me. I would never beg someone to train with me. And that's not the type of person I want. I want them to have a need and then they reach out to me and I can fulfill their need as best as possible. One time I did do like Facebook marketing and I guess I didn't set the geographic location. So it was like Australia and California were the two locations they reached out to. And I was like, all right, I'm never gonna do that again.
someone
I
calls you, oh, hey.
yeah, for one-on-one personal training in Australia or California. So I was like, all right, we're both about the same age and we've lived a childhood and have grown up without much of this technology. And now we are also in this technology as well too, with social media, we had a little bit in like MySpace and intermediate school and like high school. But it didn't really like for me, like freshman year of college, I think was Facebook came out. So I think we were already a little bit older and weren't built into this world like the younger generation is now. So when you talk about social media, I've always was back and forth on like how do I market, and I know it's the best marketing platform because you can really direct your audience and target who you want, as opposed to like going TV or I don't know if people really even need the newspaper or magazine anymore, but that's also expensive as well too. So I just honestly, I service the heck out of my clients and I try to give them the best service as possible. Say, if you like, I send them the workout in an email recap. And at the bottom, it says, if you are happy with your service, I would love to have you a Google review. And I leave a link for a Google review. That has been a lot. The best marketing is number one referrals, is people referring out. That has been the best. And then the second best are just people like referring my name on a Facebook like group or um like Google or Yahoo or like the reviews or just like Googling and seeing the reviews, which goes a long way too, because these are real people.
Got it. So like
Yeah.
sentiment, and so like getting good, you're kind of more so like I just want word of mouth,
Yeah.
nothing too pressured, nothing that's shoved down your throat. Just find me organically, and And that's a good approach too, right? Because if you I'm not influencing you or suggesting you have a need. You already identified that you have a need. And
Hmm.
now you're finding to solve the problem, which is a whole different journey than me trying to convince you like, hey, you need to come work out at my gym. It's
Hmm.
more like, hey, I need to work out. Like I saw you guys, tell me more. And that creates a whole different relationship because now
Yeah.
you're not trying to overly sell or anything like that. It's just more like you're just providing information.
Right, exactly. So what I use for social media is I just like keep it a diary myself. I think it's important to keep an active social media than rather than to have a social media that's not active. To have potential clients will come up and they look at my social media and be like, okay, like this guy takes his workout serious and he takes health fit like serious. But I've always left my clients out of it. And I know it's easy to market my clients, but the way I view my services is that it's a private, personal, one-on-one personal training. So I don't want to showcase my clients, which I don't know if it's stupid or not, but I know it's a good idea to do. But out of respect and privacy for my clients, I don't do it. So if I do put one of my clients on and I tag that client, now I have access to all her friends too. But it just it just kind of seems like I don't know. I just never really loved that idea, and I was like, "Are you really doing it for the client, or are you doing it for yourself?" So I just think it's much more badass to train a client,
It is.
behind closed doors, and then when they're out to lunch with their friends, like, "Oh, like you look great. Who do you work with?" Or that goes more powerful than trying to like shove it in people's face. Like, this is my client. Look at her. Tag her and like tag all her friends and I
Sure.
don't know. It's not about me, it's about them. So like I was like, there's no cameras, there's like whatever you say, like it's that I try to add that value in there. Because I also think that people don't really look great when they're working out too. And
No,
I think people are more yeah, like there's no makeup, they're sweaty. It's just like do you really want that picture online? Or if it's a picture, maybe it's like a picture of them after working out or like in normal clothes or something like that.
no,
Yeah,
that makes sense. That makes sense, brother. So I think I may have a good understanding of how technology could potentially help you. One is you manually put together these workout plans, and I don't think that should change. I think we need a technology where the trainer needs to, I think maybe we give trainers templates, a starting point at least, that you can completely configure and modify.
for sure.
But what I think is you need a system or a tool where you can easily go into an app or have a feature that says, okay, now I need to scale the workout. It was supposed to be an hour, scale this to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Per mood, our client mood is are they excited? Do they just absolutely not want to be here? Okay, plug that in. Then it just kind of like takes what you had and just simply modifies it for you. And what that does is it still is your workout that you put together. It's just a modified version to make sure that your client is getting the best results. But at the same time, you as the trainer, you don't have to have that moment. And that's what I was really looking for from you is like where's the like freak out moment? Even though like yeah, you're not going to show your client because you're a professional, but in
Hmm.
time it puts you in a space where it's like, but what would you say if you had this tool or feature that said, okay, I'm going to take your sheet that you gave me, and then I'm going to give you these options, right? One is you can scale down the workout time, you can add attributes such as client mood or unexpected injury, right? Maybe like now all of a sudden like I can't do jump squats because I hurt my shin or hurt my leg, yesterday. Not even related to the workout. I was just walking to the car. All right. Now so modify for this. Like these small little changes that you can make and not have to go back and revisit the whole thing. Like how would you feel if you had a feature like that?
That would be cool, but I still like the human brain behind it and the real like the in person on the fly
Mm,
adjusting as we go type thing. Because it's still that would definitely help, but I wouldn't get much value from that.
okay, gotcha.
I think at some point there needs to be some creativity with the trainer as well too. And that if
Mm,
everything is like so systematic and black and white, then
mm,
AI will replace that. And AI has replaced a lot too. Like for example, when I was training for the marathon, I was working with a coach. Everything was very template, but it was
mhm,
never adjusting. And then I was like, well, why am I paying this when I can just use an app? I paid $20 a month for the app and it
Mm-hmm.
gave me almost the same thing. I generally talk to it and generally adjust it, which is fine. And that's what I did. So if you're a trainer that's really using that black and white template, it doesn't really give any separation for like the creativity and artistry of
Mm-hmm.
being a trainer. And I think that's really what separates a lot of the trainers.
Got you.
Because then if AI can take that, then you're like, all right, what am I paying for a trainer? And then what can I do you know, for on AI for a much cheaper cost that
Mm-hmm.
would take away their job. If you're
Got you.
just a trainer, it really focused people to be more of a coach, more of a holistic coach.
Mm-hmm. Got you. So now I'm going to give you the problem statement question, which would be like, can you give me a problem or a few problems? It could even be a few problems, but like, if you had the option to say, hey, like, let's say there was no budget constraint, there was no cost to you, whatever. But like, if you were to say, hey, look, here's a problem that I have, which maybe technology can help me, what would that problem be?
A big one is I wrote down a few things, so let me backtrack real quick.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
first thing is accountability.
Okay.
Accountability is like probably the number one thing was with a trainer, right? It's like even more so than group classes or signing up to a gym. You have a set time, you have a set date. The accountability with one person looking for you to come in is huge. So when we're talking about health and fitness, consistency is the number one thing as well too. You have at the end of the day you have to do the work, right? It's like you have to show up. You have to get in your car. You have to go to the gym. You have to put in the work, and you have to do that day in and day out, and no amount of technology can do that for you. Like there is still willpower and dedication and commitment. So like that in itself is something that technology can't overcome. The accountability aspect of it, the accountability aspect of a in-person one-on-one person waiting for you to come to the gym to work out. So clients still need to show up. That's number one. And so the main problem that I would say, so I take all the data. I'm very data oriented and I love playing with numbers, and that's really kind of where the program goes off to based on the data. And I see it on my end, but the clients don't see it on their end. So the big thing that technology would help is to make it more visual, because there's two things that technology would help with. The first thing is knowing in advance when someone is about to leave or reducing turnover. So if they start canceling every Tuesday or they start showing up late or after vacation, if there's certain trends that AI can spot that I just get overlooked by from the day to day, I can be
Mm,
more proactive on somebody leaving and be like, hey, like, dude, what's going on? Like, sit down and talk to me and try to address that before they leave, because once they make up their mind, they're gone. And then another one, probably the biggest one for me that I'm currently working on is showing my clients their progress, because every time you go to the gym, it's hard, and it should be, because you want to get your money's worth. And day to day, it's hard to see the client coming in. But as a trainer, I have all the background data information. It's like, hey, listen, like, you bench press 100 pounds last week, you're doing 110 pounds this week, but you may not know that. So what I would do as a human is take that data and then put it into AI, and AI would interpret that data and just put it into something visualization where clients can be like, hey, I get in results.
mm,
Because personal training is expensive. And at the end of the day, you also want to make sure, like, the number one question is, am I getting results? So I can say yes, but AI can take that data and be like, and show statistically, like, hey, this is where you were last year. And like, it's, and it's doing that. And it's doing like the scale victories, like your body fat percentage, your body weight. Those are the easy things, but also the non-scale victories, like photos and how's your energy levels, how's your sleeping, how do your clothes fit you, like that kind of stuff as well too. So putting all that data together where you can visually see it, it's like, oh, that's cool. That's motivating.
yeah,
If you can't see it, sometimes that invisible progress, people will just be like, oh, like, I'm gonna leave. But taking
yeah,
that data, that's what I have a heart. Like, I'm trying to get more into like the gamification of it, because that works
yeah,
really well for me. I like that. And so when I do like client habit check-ins, like every day I do a check-in, like, did you have your supplements? Did you drink your water? Did you have any fruit? And being able to like visually see that. So I automate the daily check-ins via text, and then I take that text information and then put it into an AI program with like charts and graphs, and I'm
Mm,
working on like different badges, like 5 days in a row, or you hit 50 workouts, or a lot of the gyms, I'm sure a lot of the businesses are doing are like 100 workouts, 200 workouts, like signing your name on the board 7 days in a row, whatever it is. You earn a badge. Peloton, does a lot of that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
making like a game out of it to just keep them the client retention and the consistency.
yeah.
So the biggest, to answer your question, would be visualizing their data so that they can see progress.
Yeah. So I love that because there's a huge so it sounds like there's a level of storytelling, right? And I think not just, hey, look at this badge, look at you got this, but what about like taking it a step further? And this is where I think technology can help, right? If you were to tell me, hey James, you are 2 pounds away from needing to change your waist size is gonna go down in about 2 pounds. Like that's to me is like that will push me, right?
Yeah.
Like if you but and that's where I'm thinking too, like we can go with tech like first of all, technology is open-ended. We can go anywhere we want. It's really about like figuring out what's going to work.
Hmm.
But I feel like based on what you're saying, storytelling to that client, like, dude, like you are officially 26 pounds down. Do you know what that means? That means you can probably see your collarbone in another 2 weeks, right? Or another 2 pounds, or like not even just from a weight loss perspective. Like, dude, like if you get to bench 5 pounds more, you would have benched more than 35% of the world or something like that. Like these
Yeah.
things where okay, the badge is also nice. Don't get me wrong. Don't take that away. But like making it humanized, like you said, right? And I feel like
Yeah.
this actually fits perfect for you because you are a very humanized person. You're not looking to do a lot of automation, but technology can help in this case of you storytelling with that client and really sharing with them like what this victory means, what this means. Like, okay, you mentioned before, like someone goes from benching like 105 to 110, like for them, they may like, oh, okay, that's nice, but like, what else does that mean, dude? That means that you can now lift up, give them something like you can now lift up the size of a 80-inch TV on your own.
Yeah.
Congratulate, like that's real, like that's real life world stuff, right? Like,
Yeah. Cool.
you know, if you can do a pull up, you did one pull up today, congratulations, dude. Like, if you were ever on a cliff, you'd be all right. Like those
Hmm.
types of things to put in the client's mind, that's where I think AI should do it. So AI should take
Hmm.
the results, the binary results, and then create some sort of real life humanized story from these results. And then
Yeah.
you client, and that's where it's like, oh dude, if I push it, the today I got this note from Matt that said, dude, if I lose another 2 pounds, my waist should start to shrink and I'll have to get new. I was like, do you know how hard I'll push myself? I don't give a damn about how bad of a week I'm going to do. I'm gonna lose this 2 pounds, but
Yeah.
that's the part that's gonna help feed those people, right? And because sorry,
Visualization and
visualization.
like
Yeah,
human beings be able to visualize is that's why New Year's resolutions are so, because everybody does them because they get excited, and there's a visualization like, I'll look like this, or the motivation on that is huge. Yeah.
yeah,
And if you can provide a roadmap that this is where you are, this is where you want to be, and this is
right,
how to get there, and we'll adjust along as we go.
right.
AI and a human brain together working on that is
Yeah.
amazing.
And I think even still, even with the storytelling, you mentioned roadmap. I think even including in that roadmap where I've started, like, dude, it's like if you were to tell me, dude, before you started this, like, we weren't sure we were gonna get you in the door. That's how big you were. And then
Yeah.
you progressed through this journey, and then like you were to give me like a timeline of like that's to me like the big payoff too, because even so, even I'm taking the point of view as a client. I've worked hard, I've lost a lot of weight, I've got these gains, but it's like once you leave the gym, you don't, what I mean, and you're going through your day-to-day stuff, like those things are kind of out of sight, out of mind. You're just going through the day.
Right.
So even though like you're kind of you're hitting these markers, there's nothing throughout the day to keep you going, right? Because until you actually maybe feel the pants fit a little bit differently, there's something to keep you going. But like fitness is so much more than just like being able to fit in your clothes, right? It's also like your heart, your health, your mental health, like all these different things, right? So if you were to able to spit something out and be like, dude, like you were depressed when you came here, you weren't even eating right, and now look at like where you've trended, and like you can show me that visually,
Hmm.
like dude, that's my badge right there. I would show that to so many people, like dude, look at where I'm trending. So
Yeah.
like I think that's the moment. One
Mhm.
is to find a way to better storytell the results of a client and their journey is
Mhm.
number one. Number two, accountability. Now, look, at the end of the day, you got to get in the car and drive. You got to get in the car. You got to show up and you got to give your best effort.
Yeah.
But I think also by you storytelling and even giving me the negative, right? Dude, you didn't work out yesterday. So guess what? Here are the things that you're actually missing out on because you didn't work out. Like it's kind of like
Mhm.
a looking at like your bank account, you're seeing like all these negatives. Like you're like, ah, I gotta stop. Like when you
Mhm.
talk about gamification and you talk about, how to keep them motivated, how to keep them accountable, like, yeah, like at the end of the day, like if I don't show up and I start seeing negatives and then you tell me, well, this is what could have happened, and now this is what is happening because you didn't show up. And then not only that, now that you have shown up, so you missed Monday, you missed Tuesday, you showed up on Wednesday. Here we're gonna plug in the results. Here's what we're seeing. We saw a little dip in your story, and you dip in your,
Mhm.
and it's like, dude, it's all you real time. So it's like if you miss another Monday and Tuesday, you're gonna actually see that the trend is just gonna go down, and you're not gonna get your, and then plug in milestone events too. Like, remember, like you're trying to have six pack by your birthday. At the rate we were going, you were trending in that direction. Now you're dipping out. So it's like
Yeah.
if you put that in front of my face, I'm just gonna I'm gonna be absolutely miserable when I show up, but I'm gonna show up. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
just having that tick over my shoulder consistently. Or if I get an alert every morning, be like, hey James, just remember our goals for the day, right?
Yeah.
Fine, I'm gonna go. But I don't. So
Yeah. I wonder if there's a difference between like a machine telling you that and an actual human being telling you that. Whereas
yeah.
like Peter telling you that same information, you're like, "Yeah, all right." But if
Yeah.
somebody in real time, an actual person was telling you that, you're like, oh, all right. That could be a difference as well too.
Yeah. So I think,
Letting somebody down,
yeah.
not
So
letting a computer
exactly.
is different.
So I think just like with the attorney who I was meeting with, right? The real thing for you is not to, hey, how can we change how you doing these workout plans and how you're doing this? The real opportunity and technology for you is helping you manage that client trainer relationship, helping you keep
Mhm.
your clients motivated. And then even we need to kind of look at things to help. What's in our industry we call it churn. Churn is when a customer is a defector, like they're gonna leave, right? And customers oftentimes will show behaviors of someone who's about to leave. Like in your case, it's like, hey, I'm not showing up as much, or I'm getting a lack of an effort, etc. like that. And for
Yeah.
you to, for you, you've got 30 clients and you're boom, boom, boom all day. So it's like it may take a little bit of time before you realize like, oh, they're trending out.
Yeah.
Whereas like maybe technology can like, hey, nudge you and say, hey, like you've got this customer, we set this parameter for when we want to notify customers. You've got this customer kind of trending in that parameter now. You may want to reach out to them.
Yeah.
By the way,
Keep.
here's what I'll give you the bonus. By the way, when you reach out to them, I curated this thing for you that you can talk to them about because remember they had goals that they set, and now we're actually you can share the actual what's happening because they're not doing their part to reach their
Mhm.
goals. Now you can kind of put on them too to be like, listen, I'm gonna tell you with certainty next week if you do not show up, you're gonna lose 0.3% muscle mass. I will tell you. So if you and then give them all the information, like, look, it took you 6 weeks to earn that 3.3% muscle mass. You're willing to give it up because you don't want to come for 2 days. Like you
Mhm.
can literally, like we can build technology where it's like you're not forcing them, you're not doing anything. All you're doing is giving them the facts, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you decide, hey, I didn't care, I had to work 6 weeks to gain that 0.3% of muscle mass, and I'm willing to let it go over a week. Okay, that's your decision, no problem. But at least we both
Mhm.
have an understanding of how hard it is to get to this point.
Yeah.
So we need from a technology's perspective, we gotta create more tools to help you manage your relationship with that client less of, hey, this is how you do a better workout, this is how you do it. More of like, hey, you want to just have a good relationship with your people and let them feel like you know them and that they are, even though you have multiple clients, they feel like they're the only one.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. It's much cheaper to keep a client than to get a new client. So there can be a lot of money into trying to retain customer
Yep.
retention than trying
Yep.
to get new clients.
Gotcha. Okay, man. So I would say for you to definitely be on the lookout for some possible features. I'll let you know if anything comes up, but there may
I
be
look,
some stuff that comes up that someone says, "Hey, how do we help with this relationship?" And listen, I know Fitness Pal is out there, and there's all these different apps, and those are great. There's nothing. I'm not knocking them, but
mhm,
it's very this conversation that we had and what I uncovered when talking with you. It doesn't. It's my Fitness Pal is designed if I am literally waking up, I feel great. I'm gonna go give 100%, and I'm gonna like it's
right.
case scenario, no problem. It'll knock it out the water. But
Yeah,
the majority of us don't wake up every day feeling super enthusiastic about life, right? So what we've got to do is figure out how do we, for the majority of us, where we wake up feeling like, how do we help keep them motivated, but also how do we give the trainer the tools to help the trainer keep the client motivated?
yeah,
That's what we got to look into.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Real motivation, not like corny quotes or
Yeah, like you can.
corny, you can do this, or, like real motivations. And like, how do you motivate 30 different personalities? Each person, well, generally, but, you know, people are motivated by different things too.
Yeah,
So
and
adjust it
and then
each person.
and they're not a team, right? These are individuals. It's not like you can just give
Yeah.
like a rah-rah speech to the whole group. It's literally like Jim and
Yeah.
Joe are like different. Jim likes a kick in the butt. Joni, you gotta
Yeah.
talk nice, right? So
Yeah.
that's another thing to consider too.
For sure. Yeah.
Man, well, you've given some nuggets. Hopefully you've gotten something out of this conversation.
Yeah. That's great.
Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. Can you give us, do you mind giving a shout out to your gym, the name, the location, in case folks want to at least have an interest?
All right. Yeah. My name's Matthew Costeines. I own a personal training studio in Westport, Connecticut. It's called Studio 360 Fitness in 47 Zacatecas Ave.
Awesome, man. So if anyone wants someone who's going to be dedicated, but you've also got to come and be dedicated, give Matt a call. If he's taking clients at the time, maybe he'll be able to take you in. But awesome again, Matt. I appreciate you, brother. Like and subscribe for more content, everyone. And thank you. Hang on one second.